Welcome back. Map number one wasn't exactly the way that we thought that it would go in the second half. DSG, they looked firmly in the lead in the first half, but with only 3 rounds in the second half, we ended up seeing none other than OR Esports take Pearl instead. My name is Upmine, joined here by Gompers and Keg here for Challengers Relegation Day 1. Let's talk about that first map, because we didn't exactly see again in that second half the look that we wanted from DSG. And that comes at a surprise, because that was the side that we ended up seeing that double duelist really have its effect.
Yeah, I mean, the double duelist on the defense worked out really well. Exalt found so much pressure, just being able to almost singularly hold A-site for the majority of the rounds that he played in. But yeah, I gotta agree. The attacking side, I was expecting a little bit more of just rushing in, aggressive firepower to come out from Exalt and Ye, but it just felt like at times the team realized, hey, we kind of need these flashes to get onto a site. And with Exalt being the only one to have that kind of ability to bring out, it left the team in a very awkward spot just before they tried to initiate to a site.
Yeah, to say the very least, we saw a DSG who only had a singular flasher, and the flasher was the duelist who should theoretically be on the front line of the battle and not supporting. Nobody was in a position from the DSG side to have a third-person perspective to help these high fragging positions. So in the end, DSG, we ended up seeing a lot of retakes that, well, in OR's favor, they ended up looking very easy. They ended up looking pretty overwhelming at that. Just the first pistol round alone, we ended up having the paranoia and the stun setup already, the breach and the omen coming up big, something that DSG again missed out a lot in that second half.
Yeah, you're completely right, and you can make a strong argument that OR came into this matchup a lot more prepared on Pearl, because that was the map that they've been most consistent at since open qualifiers. But when we look at DSG again, they had not played this map since they had Steel on the team, and it was months ago when they did so. And without any recorded history, at least for our perspective, we didn't know what the expectation was to go into that map. And I think having Exalt on Reyna was meant to be that that design to catch OR off guard, and didn't work.
Yeah, even with the Reyna too, I wanted to talk a bit more about that. Obviously, I love Reyna. I may be slightly biased, but I think Exalt was perfect. I think what DSG was aiming for here was completely on par to what they had to do. It is quite difficult though, because you're pulling that out surprisingly coming into this really, really big moment, and you're risking your chances there. But you know, all in all, I think they can toy around a bit with giving Exalt that kind of space to really play to their comfortable style.
Yeah, and we still ended up seeing, oh, sorry about that. We still ended up seeing a little bit of that effect from the support players too. I mean, Keg, we still ended up having a good game from players like Niliaz.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both the Killjoys did a fantastic job just anchoring down the core part of Pearl. That being said, you know, there were some rounds where we had to see those adaptations contest into Nilly or Clear's defensive utility straight up, and those were often the round dictating moves that allowed whichever defending team it was to strike down and have this premature idea about what the hit would look like from the attack and get on top of it, crunch them down before the execute could even really happen. But again, you know, we're looking at all these different pieces of utility and stuff, and it seemed like both teams were trying to play for that double controller setup, but the problem is they only had a single controller in both teams.
And it was a little tougher, actually, from OR for them to be able to kind of take advantage of that sort of mentality. Again, with only one Omen, you can only do so much. But we still ended up seeing 4 defuses coming out, 4 successful retakes out of the last 5 rounds come out from OR Esports. And we ended up seeing a lot of players who usually wouldn't have a big say in those types of rounds really come up big. We saw a big game from Pancakes this time.
Yeah, I agree. I think Pancakes did a fantastic job just going for those lurks and the controller util at that. And even when rounds where Pancakes didn't have as much impact as we would have thought he would have had, there were still opportunities to kind of mess with the enemy team, go for flanks and go for these different maneuvers just to help enable the rest of their team to try to find something. And more often than not, I feel like it was silent impact, but it worked out well.
And there was also a lot of changes going into that map. But like you said, it was a big mentality change coming in from DSG. But I think we could still question a bit about the OR Esports, direction, right? Because again, before they played with the Viper, they played with the Harbor, but with the Omen, they actually ended up unlocking so much potential alongside the Breach and alongside, of course, allowing the Omen to fly a little bit. No one was grounded. The Viper utility wouldn't just be used at the very beginning of the round. Every piece of utility was flexible, and in the end, again, a DSG team who wouldn't usually have all 5 players going into a site or all 5 players coming out of a post plant, OR Esports were pretty much able to isolate just off a util.
Yeah, I think it was a happy little miracle coming out from OR. I don't think the expectation was there that Disguise would bring out a Reyna and a Jet, and you could assume to be very high in firepower, but both teams unexpectedly played really passive, especially in the late rounds, where we were probably expecting to see those aggressive firefights to come underway that never did.
And we can hit on real quick, again, going back to our best of 3, going back to our maps. Our next map here, this is a whole lot more homey here for Disguised. We've seen 2 maps of Ascent so far this season for Disguised, all 2 going their way. There's the only wins for Disguised in this split, both of them coming on Ascent. But again, man, we have to keep questioning what is going to be the structure of this team going into this map. Are we going to see any changes?
I'm kind of hoping so. I liked, for DSG, I liked the changes that we saw. I liked the toying around with everything. I'm hoping, for OR Esports, they were doing everything right down inside of that attacking hat, but it's not always going to be like that, right? We're going to a map that statistically, for DSG, is a map that they're more comfortable with. So there is something there in the air that could kind of come out from DSG, something completely different, or they're just going to keep going with what they normally do because that's their comfort spot. So they could abuse that if they want to.
Yeah, and Keg, we haven't seen OR Esports play Ascent in months. They didn't play it at all in Split 2.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at DSG having that surprise factor, bringing out their unique agent compositions to say the very least, who's to say OR can't do the same on Ascent? We've seen some wacky things throughout the year on this map. M80 had a triple initiator comp so early on into the season. Who's to say they can't do it here?
Again, I don't... Do we really want to see that sort of thriftiness come out from OR Esports this late? I don't potentially know. Again, that 3rd map is a massive question mark here, Keg. Not only, again, this is the back pocket pick here for OR Esports. They're going to pull out a completely different look potentially from what we've seen last time. But Fracture is the exact same situation for DSG. We hadn't seen Fracture in months. But here comes the reveal for OR. Keg, Gompers, take it away.
I swear, if we see another Reyna come out, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I would love to see it, but no, Exalt's gonna go for a much more standard KO play. And, I mean, Reyna and KO, in terms of their flash ability and how they have their pacing per the round, isn't too much different. But I think on a more close, condensed map like Ascent, the Reyna could, in theory, do well here, but I would feel much more comfortable Exalt back on that suppressing KO.
Yeah, I think overall everything is looking pretty on par to what we want. DSG this time around, they do have flashes, so there isn't that worry there. Yeah, I mean, more so, that was one of the biggest concerns there for DSG that we felt like was lacking on that attacking side. So they're coming into here, having that KO there from Exalt. And, we saw that Reyna come out. I feel like that was just our warm-up game to get that KD in. Now they're ready to play like Reyna, but on that KO. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I really don't see Exalt's gameplay in an individual level changing that much. I think it'll still be that kind of aggressive IGL prowess that we've come to get used from him, and I hope we get to see that coming in here. Big difference, though, between OR and DSG is that Jonah is rocking the Viper, and that's going to be so good to lock down mid. There's no longer any potential for stalling. Well, actually, there's a lot of potential for stalling, but tree, main, mid, all completely blocked off. It's just gonna buy time away from DSG. But Yang says differently. He's already on site.
Yikes. Speaking of different, I guess OR are different this time around because it seems like they're having a lot of fun. They're playing very well up into this moment. The A side, though, completely contested here by DSG. Got that 3v4 coming into action. So having this site is a lot easier than trying to retake it, especially on Ascent here.
And DSG have 0 utility left for this post plant. Except for the turret that just respawned back in. That's the only piece of util. Otherwise, DSG, they have to take these gunfights.
As they start to move up, you have beautiful shots coming in left and right. Assault taken a 1v2. If that spray transfer had committed, it would have been a beautiful play there.
Yeah, I guess the Reyna is coming through from map number 1 on Exalt. What a strong opening play coming out from OR, though, for the retake. Because, again, we talked about how the fight for util being that pure, just stalling pressure to go up against DSG, make them second guess what's on the other side of that wall. Yeah, he didn't care. Yeah, it's just like, okay, just whatever, it's tree, smoke, I've seen it before, and just dashed on in. But the timing was also a little off, too. Yay! For at least just a few seconds, was all by themselves without a follow-up. And it did put a little bit more pressure on DSG into the post plant there. But again, just a pistol round, no big deal. OR, though, looking really good for their first round. They opt to buy up again. They've been really good on Pearl, converting up these bonus buy rounds into having full-blown rifles for the rest of their half. We haven't seen too many thrifties coming out from them. But DSG looking to recreate history once more, this time much closer together. Pancakes, stacked up outside of tree, has no util to stop anything just yet, setting up for the paranoia.
Still running away. Pancakes finds the opportunity to leave this situation. Again, this is a hard game to win. Pancakes still trying to fight for that spot here. They do a beautiful job of doing so. Still down left towards the back of sight. Yeah, and of course they have these specters, so not much to really deal with, especially if you're on the side of DSG. So, trying to fight for some freedom here, but a beautiful ace to come down here for Pancakes.
Pancakes did what Exalt couldn't. One by one, taking down everybody all over Ace. Let's look at the replay of that again. Just one by one. That dark cover right outside of triple is so strong, because if you're hiding inside of Hell or you need to reposition on Ace High, you're allowed as a defender to maneuver yourself practically wherever you want. And we saw the struggle with DSG there. They had to contest the smokes one by one at different angles, and it just allowed Pancakes to play as like a whack-a-mole to go in and out in different angles to take those 1v1s. Not something that OR can rely on every round, though. Big one-way outside of A in the beginning. But DSG, they are changing things up.
Yeah.
They're now looking to maybe see what's happening over on B site. You might have to remember, Millie hasn't really made much of an appearance yet this matchup, because his utility hasn't been stacked up on A.
And trying to switch things up here. Already going over towards the other side. B is the way to go. But if you're looking for any of close range fights, they're from OR. They're in a really good position. Jonah having the smoke up, slowly transitioning over. Yeah, they're going to have to hit sometime soon, fighting whatever's in front of them.
And DSG not playing too different from how they executed on Pearl. Taking their time, looking for the prime moment to go for the entry. Hiding inside logs though, Jonah yet to be discovered. Does take down Ye for the entry.
Flash.
And that's actually good because you get the one. Now they're actually continuously fighting for this. Zeldris making something nice here, even though they have Spectres and Vandals and whatnot.
Left.
Trying to play with Sheriffs here. They're still doing a good job at keeping things together. Gangsta, though, having such a big chance. Moving forward with this. You got the drone, you got the shock darts here. You see the spike. Trying to find and isolate something. Pancake slowly peeking through. The first one down, and it's Niliaz that makes that first contact.
Yeah, and again, the smoking prowess coming out from both these teams has dictated how the rounds could go. Jonah finding that opening pick against Ye so strong to keep everybody clustered in behind that cloudburst. And that's not a round you can lose if you're disguised. You absolutely need to keep your rifles alive there. But off of a bonus buy, it was all OR, just taking those 1v1s yet again, nothing but Spectres to remove the Vandals off of DSG. 50 round already, though, for DSG. Zeldris investing into that operator hiding inside of mid. This is going to take a lot of coordination between Jonah and Zeldris. But the way DSG are going right now, it seems like that might not become a possibility. Almost everybody except Clear are stacked up outside of A. It's the deep lurk from Clear hoping to be some sort of distraction. But I don't think it worked.
No, Niliaz was spotted out too when Ye started that dash to come down. Tailwind giving away everybody's location. It's impossible to get away from a player like this one. Still though, you see the drone moving up forward. A flash coming down over Aura, and in such a good position right now. You see, you have 3 players alive, yeah, sure. All they have to do, Pancake's taking a nice pick away in Yay now. Trying to fight for any control left. Down surrounding Heaven.
Yeah, and I always love the way Ye plays this operator. So different from most others. It's essentially a one-shot rifle. Or Gangsta too.
Even now with the off, it's going to be hard to keep things together, especially if you're missing that first shot. Taking out the Blade Storm. But I think playing with the op there would have been enough. It's OR Esports. They're on a very big uphill battle.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistiming there from Ye at the very end. The operator could, like you said, definitely found those 1v1s, but it was just too little too late for the Blade Storm. And wow, would have been a great option to have this round, Gump.
Yeah.
Had it been another Thrifty. But now instead it's everybody except Ye to invest into this round. Could still get away with having a rifle. Wouldn't be the end of the world. But when you have a jet on the board, you always you rely on those Blade Storms that have that Thrifty potential to still find that firepower. And now that's going to be severely lacking if DSG can't convert this next round.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out. Carried down.
Not much to convert when you can't even do anything. Down inside of main again, you know, and for OR actually had a talking point about this. I love the util that we're seeing and how they close off these sites, whether it be on that defense or that attack. It's huge.
I mean, a lot of teams love to kind of overheat at the beginning of the round to just get that early opening pick, but OR historically don't do that. They play one of the more defender-sided defenses I've seen in Challengers. And it's working out well here. The Skies, they have not had any barriers broken just yet, and the Sky Seekers rummaging into mid is not going to help out whatsoever. It enables Zeldris to push up, not too far, but just far enough to deny anybody that cross paths outside of tree.
Oh, this is such a good watch. Oh, but the flash coming out, kind of leading off that balance. Nice first shot, still finding for something else. Of course, the tag out. Patience there from Physic, the spray transfer to move forward with this. Exactly what you want to see out of a team like OR Esports. It's gonna be hell
30 seconds
if you're
left.
DSG trying to get out of this.
Oh, Nerve could get one kill, or maybe even try to get over to the orb, but none of which is a possibility. No chance to go for the ultimate to pick up that spike and run away.
Yeah.
All surrounded like piranhas in the water for OR. 5-0 for the team. And it's not even like the win condition has been the same throughout those 5 rounds, Gump. It's been different causes. This being the anti-crunch coming out from OR, just as we saw the execute coming out from DSG. And we've seen that on both sides now.
Yeah.
On top of the occasional diffuses that happened early in this half. This timeout from DSG is one of the most important for them in their entire Challengers run.
Yeah, these first 5 rounds, you know, can also solidify it for OR Esports. And again, you know, a portion of it might just be the fact that they are kind of sitting around down on that defensive half. DSG, as we've seen previously, that attacking half, not the best side that they can play with, right? So, you know, also kind of giving that credit where it's due. Might just be some worries in terms of what they can play with. Because, you know, you have that KO, but KO can only do so much in such a short range of time. So, you know, really trying to play with what they have.
And you got to give props to OR for the counter reads too.
Yeah.
DSG, they haven't changed their attacking prowess that much over the last 2 maps. They've ignored mid every single round so far in this half. And they only at the very end of their attack on Pearl started to dabble inside of mid-side play. So DSG now having to make that big adjustment. I really want to see at least one player try to tackle mid, just to put that pressure on. Instead of OR, they're almost conditioning themselves just to play for A and B main. They don't have to watch mid anymore. It's to the point now where Nilly doesn't even set up their utility on mid. But this is the adjustment I'm looking for. Pancakes could give away the plot, make sounds with the Shrouded Step, but now DSG are finally poking and prodding, seeing what's going on inside of mid. And then we come to a surprise. There's no alarm bot. There's nothing here.
Making some space. Again, control is the biggest thing in this game right now.
Deploying drone.
You know, slowly losing that, which is big. With DSG, their approach is a bit too slow. We're going to have to fight a 3-person site pretty soon. especially with the time that they've been waiting around. So much util still left on B, so much opportunity for OR to continue that fight.
Yeah, this fight soon to not be for long, though. Nearly this util all over side lane is going to spell doom for a single funnel.
Oh, good. And again, it happens. OR using their util to push these players back.
One enemy remaining.
Despite having a KO, they lack that suppression. You get a flawless again. Or Esports, the biggest thing that they have inside of their arsenal is Peg 100% their utility. They are using that to a T.
I don't disagree, but I also don't think it's fair to say that for OR either. They're using their utility like a team should. But DSG, they're just not using it directly when they need to get onto a site. They're just face-checking everything and kind of playing around the reactive utility of what OR are bringing out instead. And you're right, you would expect with Exalt to use that 0 point directly onto a site just to disable that utility, but it never happens.
Always doing the best they can with whatever situation. Always thinking on their feet too from OR, which I highly respect. Right now, Viper spit down towards 8. They knew that pick was going to come for DSG. They knew they were going to come towards 8. Obviously, fighting that one out. Nice first pick from Zeldris.
Yeah, and Clear's gone now. Flank potential from OR skyrockets into the late game. Remember, too, you can't go for the double-pronged push of your DSG. You're funneled directly into this Viper's wall by the hands of Nilly on the other side.
Found them.
Really good scaling coming out from Ye here. Keep in mind, Thrifty round only with a Sheriff in hand. And Ye doesn't even clear out this corner, instead leaves it to Exalt. The spike! Lost in heaven! Remaining. You've lost your firepower, and all that's left is Gangsta.
History has already forgotten.
It feels like to me, DSG are trying to big brain their way through these attacking rounds, and OR, they don't have to do much to get out of the way of sight. They just let DSG come to them. Pancakes didn't have to move, just held in the back of heaven and took those 1v1s. And the spike was in an irretrievable angle for DSG to reclaim. And it comes back down to that same factor. Where's the utility to get onto site? Because the only one has been Ye using Cloudburst.
Oh my gosh. There's nothing to do here.
Okay, I like the tempo here.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something, which is great.
This is faster.
And I like this.
So,
nobody's on site too. There's a promising push here.
Yeah, this is really good. But look at this attempted crunch up from OR, though. They love to play off these lockdowns just to make sure everyone's all condensed up for the attack. Yeah, he stuck by.
Yeah. I love how they're just going through it. They're taking the pain in from the mollies instead, just to get on the site, take that control, whatnot.
Oh,
or
no.
Esports, yeah. They're still having their 5 though, so here for the retake. It's big DSG using the 1. Pancakes now down here for OR Esports. So they lose out on their smokes. That paranoia no longer available, but clear location given away. First shot already come down. You see the Viper snake bite already moving down towards the back of site, isolating and zoning in these players. But it's up to Jonah. Trying to take a fight down just towards the back of site.
Last player standing.
It's gonna be nerve to take the isolation there. The first one down, and they're switching it down over, making sure to pick it off immediately. But it's not even enough time. They can try as much as they please, but Clear played the waiting game.
That was such a scary round for DSG. I'm glad they were able to get on the site. The lockdown coming out from Clear was able to enable Ye to safely get onto the site and not have to worry about the immediate plays that could happen from these defenders. Enough space, and DSG can do wonders.
Yeah.
But I got really scared in the mid-round. Pancakes had used their smokes on the flanking turret of Clear, was able to scale in the B main and nearly take down that take down Clear. Had Clear died there, that would have been 8-0 for OR. It all comes down to those micro plays in the mid-round there. Make things even more nerve-wracking for both these teams. At least for OR, they have a really nice safety blanket of 6 rounds to work with. In DSG, there haven't really been any adjustments. Stacked right outside of A-main again, stifled by the smokes coming down from OR. This Owl Drone's gonna clear out at least one, but these ultimates have been the only consistent entry tool this series for DSG.
There still is potential here, though. looking at what they can do, right? You got the suppressions to come through. There is no dash available for anybody to use here. Drafting up. Luckily enough for Zeldris, actually missing out on some of that Hunter's Fury. So information there. They know where Zeldris is. Yay, still fighting this angle. Do they even know? I'm not even sure they do. No, Zeldris knows. He smoked it off. He's understood.
Now, all closed and condensed right here. DSG have nothing but gunfights they can take. OR though, like you said, huge opportunity when it comes down to their utility. A flood into the site. All that's left now are just 2 for DSG and make that 0 in the blink of an eye. OR's there to reclaim site yet again, and you're right, Gompers, it's all about the utility that OR are using and reacting off of it. They set themselves up with the utility to create that space, whether it be a nano swarm or a simple smoke. Just to evade away from DSG, it's something that the team has not been able to do in the post plant. DSG, they're struggling.
The struggle 100% being real here, because you get 1 round out of 8, out of 9. I mean, we're almost reaching that halftime, so if they can take that double-digit scoreline, I mean, all they need is that pistol round to give themselves that guarantee there for Oral.
And this is the one map Disguised have been able to win in Split 2. Not even just series, the one map. Oh, Zeldris. The immediate smoke in return. The birth of utility once again from Disguise. This is good. I like this play. It's a thrifty round, sure, but look at this spacing. Sure, there's a smoke that comes up, but now the pressure applied to OR is something we have yet to see. This could be a potential 2v5. The Phantoms can only do so much when you're flooded by pistols.
Well, trying to move forward. Pancake still down through the smoke. Finds a 2K. Leaves Nilias alone to it. They trust the teammates, and they will do so with respect. Or Esports. Come on. Well, I mean, how do you get away from something like this?
It was a 5v2, Gump. A 5v2 getting onto the site. Yeah, with lesser weapons. It was just sheriffs. But we saw again, Pancakes could just duck and dive around all this controller util. This time just being Ye's Cloudburst. And in the matter of seconds, taking those fights yet again. Dissolving Disguise before they could barely even get on site.
Yeah.
It's an 8-round lead now from OR. And to be fair, this was the weaker side for Disguised historically, and it was on Pearl too. Both these teams that look great, to a certain extent, towards their defense. But OR, they have been the better team when it comes to adaptations. They like to experiment, go for riskier plays. Disguise, they like to find one thing that works and keep on rocking it until it's far, far too late.
I believe. I mean, we've seen even deeper runs than this, right?
Yeah.
Like big comebacks that really you can keep in your mind. So I think DSG, there is the potential there to bring it back. We talked about it before, right? It's the attacking side. It really does get to them. And I don't see that being their strongest side.
Calling my bot.
100%. Their defense is there.
Yeah, and I mean, you can also flip it around. OR, their attacking side has been kind of so-so last few series. If Disguise can just take advantage of that fact and make this defense one of the greatest defensive halves any one of them have ever played in their careers, then yeah, they can absolutely bring this back. And remember too, it's not too late for Disguise if they lose this series either. They're still full-on elimination. But you don't want to go down to elimination in relegation either.
Yeah. Just feels more real that way. That your spot might just be taken away by 2 other teams here. Zeldris. This is big, but actually seeming to hide away from the dark. They got the smoke left up, now over. They have to move themselves away, able to get the one, so the refrag is there.
Oh, Clear might be able to save the day, but Physics already reading into a good wide swing from Clear. Removes a lot of info away from OR.
Yeah.
The spike now free to land, but yay. Redeeming themselves that Blade Storm. They need to pop off now.
I think they will. Exalt not making it any easier for anybody here. And again, I've been wanting to see this come out from Exalt for a while here on this map. And like Ye's not missing out anything either. How do you get something like that from Zeldris? I don't even know. They're playing freaking deathmatch at this point. There's nothing you can do.
Oh man, I mean the big yawn we saw from Zeldris in the timeout really had so much impact there.
Last round in
Good
the
lord. Hey, even looking from our perspective, that Zeldris couldn't even see where somewhere like Ye was through the smoke before the shorty. 10-1. It can't end like this. Disguise, they have so much in their pockets right now, but if they use both their null command and lockdown this round, they won't have anything left for the next. Actually, it is the last round, I misspoke. So they have to use both ults here. This is their chance to get that second round on the board. And if they use the null command and the lockdown here and still can't convert this round, Gump, I'm worried. That would mean the next pistol round they have for their defense needs to be in their favor.
Turret out.
Oh, DSG though. A little bit different from what we have seen before. Sure, that prominence, nor tier tree, but the lockdown might add a confusing opportunity. Hard counter though from Physics Seekers though. That's gonna give away the entire plot about where DSG are. They can't be sneaky anymore.
Speaking about sneaky, I don't think they want to be. DSG just are running it down. They don't care. I think this is the approach that they've been needing. Something aggressive, something straight to the point.
Spike
But luckily for Exalt, you know, they get taken down, so not much to do with it. They're left in a 4v3 position. The player advantage is there for them. The win condition there as well. Shock Dark to take, but Nilia is actually missing out on it in the last second.
Last player standing.
Zeldris to really make things count.
Placing
Now
swarm
Jonah,
grenade.
6 left alive. Last, Clear and Gangsta. This is their game to take. It's going to be super difficult.
Spike planted.
Jonah can absolutely do it though.
Poison's off.
The smoking side of triple is gonna help out a lot. Right into the fact that both are hiding inside of hell. The Molly takes down Clear. It's down to the 1v1. It's the last round, and we can easily see the Viper's pick go to fruition from Jonah. Knowing full well now where the last one is.
Oh
But
my
not even
gosh.
necessary. The 1v1. Jonah brings it to 11. Disguised. They have to win this next round. If this pistol does not go in their favor, they face 1 to 12.
Switching
On a
sides.
buy-up round for OR for series point.
It was there. And I'm surprised
player
that
standing.
instead of fighting that in a 2v1 situation, they were both in the same position. They could have wide swung that together and taken that fight. They chose to hide and wait for them to get that push up. And again, that really gave that isolation some key because you're playing against a Viper. Those mollies are there. They're present. A hard situation to win. Honestly, a super amazing play coming out from Jonah 6.
Absolutely, the patience from Jonah there, not taking the 2v1 with the help of the Molly. Just saved the day for that second round not to go for Disguised. The patience from OR has been nothing like else I've seen in Challengers. They have yet to shake their confidence at all this series. And Ye has to make a miracle play here inside of mid.
But they will. Because they have before taken in 4Ks, whatnot, so potential definitely becoming bigger and bigger as time goes on. OR Esports, though, 11 to 1. That is impeccable. They win this pistol round. They can completely run away with this game.
It'd be so hard to face pistols against a buy-up round. But OR, they're taking a page out of Disguise's book. They're playing very patiently themselves. They're not immediately running and gunning in, and this does give an opportunity for Disguise to rotate. But it just seems like at this point, OR are messing with Disguise, looking for the jump piece to see where others could be, and with Ye gone, the tip of your spear that you were hoping for in this series is now gone. Exalt might be the next. And everybody else except for B-side are completely separated away. B falls under. This is gonna spell doom. And it's just down to Gangsta.
B. 30 seconds.
Hiding away, looking for the 1v1s, and Zeldris says no, not today. A 2v3, sure, it's not the most impossible winnable scenario for DSG. Physic there, just gonna be the bouncer, the door guard to see if the rest of DSG can get on the B. Permission's been granted. But look at the HP of what remains of Disguise.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now Nerve.
Cover going out.
Listen, we've seen some nasty frenzy plays. Unfortunately, though, you got 2 players that are left on high HP. You're pretty much fighting a demon at this point. Full HP right there. Match point coming through from Aura Esports. This was DSG's time to really show what they have to prove. Are we going to see a complete turnaround run, or is it going to be game over for DSG?
It's hard to call at this point, Gump. This has been the one map that DSG has found consistent success on in Split 2. And now they've only a single round on the board. They have to force buy here. What kind of buy could they possibly have? A Stinger? Light Shield, sure. At least there's an Ares on the board. Gangsta has that. Well, no. Gangsta's not even playing on B site. The Ares just might wildly start shooting in mid, but look at this run up instead. Yeah, he's good for the trade, but at what cost? Your controller. You've lost out on nerve.
Toxin screen down. Poison's off.
They've lost out, but right now are. Again, it's 1-1 right now. They lost out on Zeldris, but you're looking at the accumulation of what they have regarding that util here for OR. Again, potential still stands.
Oh, pancakes. No.
Yeah.
Unlucky. But the timing there. But look at this, though. Disguise, they've recognized, okay, well, we got 2. We can run away here. We have the body advantage. And there's still clear as util all over side A. It's yet to be touched. It's a marathon run for Nilly, though, all the way over back to the B. Exalt still remaining on the side. Gonna be the IGL single holding B. It's quiet. A little too quiet. All the more reason for Ye to rotate back around.
30 seconds left.
Cover going out.
Ooh, finding out right now what OR is capable of. So they're making a nice transition. This was actually, oh no, the timing. I was about to say, this is a beautiful reposition. TP now to try to fake things out, but they know it's a complete fake. Still pancakes. Finding everything being shot down on them. They're making a slow work up around 17 health. They know the execution is coming along. There is time. If Nilias can run away with this one, it's game over for DSG. But they're fighting with their lives. They're trying to make a run for it. And it's not enough. Nice on Gangsta to execute alongside their teammate.
On the brink of it all. On the brink of defeat. The Skies are able to get their second round. Sometimes that's all you need. The snowball can start falling off the mountain. Turn into a gigantic boulder. But it comes down to these buys first. Ultimate cycling economy not looking too bad right now for Disguise. They have full rifles to work off of here except for Nerve. Nerve can easily play inside of their own smokes though. As long as they're dialed back and try to just assist Exalt in the trades, it's a really good outcome possibly for Disguise here. Big question is though, OR, in situations like this, they always go for a gigantic adaptation. The big question is, what are they going to do this time? Certainly not going to focus B, I'm assuming. Instead, a lot more utility pressure inside of mid. A full default in return, not even. And yet, nobody on Disguised are pushing up. They can't sacrifice a single rifle on their board.
Blocking sight.
Whoa, OR! They're faking out this deep mid-side play. And Disguised are falling for it. And now you have Pancakes all set up for using smokes anywhere on the map. Pancakes could be good for a series-changing play.
Oh.
Never mind.
You like hyped it up so much and then it just all falls apart. Yeah. Still though, okay, Jonas stick. Making numbers count where they should, but DSG, again, right? You're looking at the Sheros. It's not really aligning here from OR. Once they pull out those Vandals, then that fight might come through, but DSG just one step closer to, you know, bringing something together here. But, I mean, let's not count them out just yet. OR, 35 seconds left and still actually on that rotation over towards that B site.
30 seconds left.
OR have zero utility to work off of here.
Deploying drone.
8 seconds left until Nilly gets that turret
Spike
back.
planted.
That's the only piece of utility besides physics, maybe being able to heal. Oh, Spotter and Logs too. Nilly's all by themselves.
Last player standing.
Another release. A relief. A sigh of relief, I should say. For Disguise as they get their next round. And honestly speaking, they're really not doing much different than what OR had done for their defense. There's no overextension. There's no popping out, trying to get the opening pick and running away. None of that. Instead, the Skies are playing as far back as possible. OR can take as much map space as they want. The issue with them, though, is that they're not able to keep that space for much longer. Now, granted, that was a mostly Sheriff's round that we had seen coming out from OR. This is the real test. The Skies have been able to convert those last two rounds. And now OR have full rifles outside of Physic. Never mind, now they have full rifles. And as just as much as the pendulum has swung for Disguise's favor, it could easily swing back here. It really comes down to this opening pick and who you lose on either side.
Toxin screen down. Poison's off.
Now OR. Again, on a run to take that point back. They've lost 2. On the basis that, you know, obviously their economy wasn't doing so great, but if DSG can continue to run away with these rounds, they could very much bring things back. Nerve, though, having a smoke available, not going to use it. Going to see
Lockdown.
a big eruption come down.
Lockdown so strong. Has been the winning factor for the majority of these rounds from OR in the last 2 maps. Shoving Disguise away as Nerve falls. No more controllers for Disguise to work with.
I've got your trail.
Pushing in, the A site completely cleared up for OR Esports. And right now, a nice headshot to come through. Zeldris making that damage happen. But up in heaven, you got that 3v5 coming along, and you see the op. It's going to get even harder. I mean, what can they do? Especially as that Blade Storm brought about. Slowly working their way around. Honestly, nobody paying attention towards the back here. Everybody working their way up towards heaven, and it's OR Esports that happens to take this down.
Oh, what a strong comeback from OR. A team that you can tell from the cameras, all smiles. The communication, to me, the biggest factor of OR winning this series over Disguised. Love the way they were able to adjust on the fly. Interpersonal player interaction, so strong, Gom.
There were so many faults just happening there. DSG had so many winnable rounds that they could have really used to their advantage. Again, it's that coordination that they were kind of lacking there of just basically utilizing that utility and keeping those post plans intact. It was those post plans that ran away from them down in the attacking half where, okay, we got the site, let's move on from this. But then again, it's just the defense too strong, number one, coming through from our esports, and just so many things lacking there in terms of that coordination. But we got up mind,
welcome back.
The biggest mind in the game.
Yeah. When I have my hat off, that is. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you guys had fun. A 13-3 going by quickly, but gosh, man. I mean, we just didn't see the DSG that we expected at all. I mean, DSG had won every time that we had seen them on attack keg.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, again, that second map, Ascent should have been Disguised map. Completely different in-game leading philosophy coming through. A lot of different role and player swaps. You expected this would be the golden opportunity for Disguised to reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, we ended up seeing a different OR Esports, just purely in the fact that all 5 players at some point in this game were able to step up. You just run down the list. You had Niliaz alongside Jonah holding down a few rounds on their own. The 2 new players coming into this lineup. What a series, by the way, from Pancakes. We haven't really talked too much about him, but he already opened up the game with an ace, and he went on to hit almost 20 kills by the end of this map. But come on, right? Every single person from OR Esports had their moment in that first half, and we really did see every single person be able to click. They were all able to get their one before either dying or leaving site.
Absolutely. And, you know, big props to the newer members for OR as well. Physic and Pancakes, relatively new to OR at this point, had completely transformed this roster, and I couldn't be any more impressed.
Well, at least that's it for now for our best of 3. Again, OR Esports, they ended up taking that second map again a little bit relatively easily, but DSG aren't out of it just yet. We will be seeing DSG in our lower bracket tomorrow, but we're not done with our broadcast just yet. 2 more things to go. We still have 1 more game, and I'm not going to promise an interview, but we might get one after the break, or if not, we're going straight into our next game. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Relegation.
down A. One enemy remaining. A. One enemy remaining. Spike.
Perfect accuracy.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Flawless. Attackers win.
Hey, welcome back. We actually do have our interview here with the winner from our last best of three. It's none other than Vapin, head coach of OR Esports.
Hey.
First of all,
Hey, how's it
what's
going?
up, bro? Congratulations on the win.
Appreciate it, man. Job's not done, but happy to get a one for sure.
Let's talk from the very beginning. You guys actually made it through your vetoes with us kind of looking at DSG as sort of the victors, right? Because the first two maps, the two maps that were banned, those were 0-3 maps coming out from DSG. We didn't see any positive light coming out from them. I'm just more or less just trying to pick at your brain on whether or not that was sort of a counter pick into any weaknesses from DSG, or you guys were playing into more of your own comfort.
Well, definitely with the Pearl pick, we were picking more into our comfort. Split has just been really bad for us, so we've just kind of like ignored it over the last month or so. And then going into relegation, we kind of knew after we lost to FaZe that Pearl was a solid map for us, and winning didn't necessarily matter in those matches. So we ran off meta comps, or we ran the meta comps and not our standard comp to kind of like hit them with a surprise with the Omen, I guess. But yeah, we're just picking our comfort there for sure.
And going with the comfort pick, then let's talk about one of those players that ended up going into there, Physic and Pancakes. Both of those players, of course, you guys brought them in at the beginning of the splits. Just sort of talk to me, how important was it to get both of these players sort of comfortable in this lineup throughout this split? And also sort of talk to me a little bit more in detail on, how much did Physic really bring to this team in terms of adjustments to your system as an IGL?
Yeah, so I mean, it was super, super important for us to get both of these guys. Like Physic, obviously, as an IGL. I mean, we had Nilly and Jonah kind of IGL together last split. They did a good job, but Physic, he has like this very nice, calm, smooth voice. He's poised. Everybody knows exactly what they're doing in the round. He's single, by the way, ladies. Go ahead and holler at him. Like these guys do a lot for our team. And the players that we had in the past, they were great too, but I really felt that we needed more control in the rounds, more mid-rounding. So both of these guys have done a great job. Physic definitely brought in a lot of stuff. But like I said, it's really just about like slowing the game down and really gathering information and making good reads, which is what he does great. Yeah,
I've seen him on LAN. Tall and handsome, confirmed. One more game away. By the way, just wanted to say one more game away from challengers. Yeah. Job's not done, but even if the run does end here, just talk to me. How proud of you of the progress that your team has actually made? Because I mean, come on, you guys started at 0-5 with 2-3 coming out of that last split, and of course a win here in the relegation. Sort of talk to me about that improvement.
Yeah, I'm definitely really proud of the guys. Like we've been grinding super hard, 5-6 scrims a day. Really putting the time in, really wish that we had a better split one, because we probably would have found ourselves in playoffs, given that we've ran like off, not our standard comps, weeks 3, 4, and 5, and split 2. So, really proud of the guys. Job's definitely not done. Need to get this next win. I don't even know who we're playing yet. Who are we playing? Turtle Troop? I don't even know, man. It's just been... it's just been a roller coaster, but I'm glad to get the W, and I'm ready to move on. But definitely proud of the guys. Thanks to all the fans for supporting, and all my friends in the scene. Love the scene. Wouldn't be anything or anywhere without you guys. Thanks.
All right. Well, I mean, I hope to have you back on an interview very soon, because, I mean, you got a game in like, 15, 20 minutes from now. So let's get one more question out of the way. It comes from our fan zone. Just general thoughts coming in terms of the map 1 comp from DSG, the good old Reyna Brim composition.
Yeah, that one caught us by surprise for sure. One exercise that the team, to say the least, for sure. I mean, I knew they were probably going to be doing some type of post plant with the Brim Molly, like farming orbs, really strong on that comp. but really, it just like we have this exercise in practice where we like whatever comp we go against, we kind of talk about strengths and weaknesses as soon as we see them. So you know, that's kind of our bread and butter, and like we're really aware of the strengths and weaknesses, and we kind of just planned around that. But we were definitely not ready for that. We were prepping for definitely some Viper, but yeah, glad to get the win. Definitely off meta, but I mean, ours is a little bit off meta too with the Omen.
Yeah.
Omen blind's just too good, man. I don't know what to say. Like Pancakes is not a one trick, guys. It's just the Omen blind is too good. I just like it too much. It's me, not him.
I mean, we were talking a lot about flashes anyways in that first game,
yeah.
but you guys have a lot more to worry about. One last game potentially for you guys against Turtle Troop in just a little bit. Vapin, congrats on the win and good luck.
Thanks, Upmine. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to head into our final best of 3 of the day. You guys are going to see OR Esports play one more time here on stream, but the team who had a winning record coming out of split number 1, Turtle Troop, have their opportunity to punch in a ticket for some 2024 play. We'll be right back with the final best of 3 of day 1 of relegation.